When traveling, there's only one rule I always follow: go where the locals go. This time it led me to crystal clear water, the rugged beauty of granite shores, magical sunsets, and a vibrant city with a strong working class unpretentious vibe. Join a culinary tour to Gothenburg and its surroundings and discover the most beautiful beaches and best kept local secrets of Sweden's west coast. Welcome in Gothenburg. It's super hot, it's like 30 degrees, and we are going shopping now for our nice dinner. Something typical Swedish. Saluhallen is the biggest indoor market in town. The market hall was built at the boatyard at Götaverkan between the years 1888 and 1889 and designed by architect Hans Hedlund, who has drawn many of Gothenburg's most famous buildings of that time. At Saluhallen, you find delicacies from all over the world and seafood right from the ocean close to Gothenburg. We decided for shrimps and sweetwater crayfish that made for a delicious lunch at our relative's house close to Gothenburg. Oh, so many! Are you happy?
I'm very happy. That one looked very good.
We're having a short stop and a few days that we're spending in Gothenburg due to visiting our friends and relatives, and we decided to change our rear tires. They're still kind of fine, but actually we doubt that they will make another like 2,000 kilometers or so back all the way. As you can see, it's not too bad. It's actually the Heidenau Scouts that we're having on. We wanted to take other tires, but they didn't arrive on time, and now we are getting, I think, some Pirelli tires, so we will be safe to drive home. And another update on the Ducati. It's actually still leaking oil. The horn is still only attached with duct tape, and the Navi meanwhile is not working anymore. So there are quite a few issues that it had. Yes, that's from the leaking oil too. Waiting for our tires to be exchanged left us some time to explore Gothenburg downtown and its surroundings. Gothenburg is Sweden's second largest city and the biggest port in Sweden. That is perhaps why there is such a strong working class unpretentious vibe. But Gothenburg's once run-down neighborhoods reinvented themselves and now show off the best cutting-edge Swedish design, food and art. Gothenburg, by the way, boasts some of the cleanest air of any city in the world, due to its green and efficient tram system and all-electric bus fleet. The real charm of Gothenburg is not only its vibrant city, but its location on the Kattegat, the arm of the North Sea separating Denmark from Sweden. After having received several suggestions from our family and friends living in Gothenburg, we set out on a hike to one of the most beautiful beaches, a real local hidden gem. Now we're up for a nice evening swim close to Gothenburg. in Val da Sandö.
Val da Sandö Nature Reserve spreads out on the northwestern side of the Onsala Halvön, a peninsula in Kungsbacka. From the parking space at Val da Sandö, don't go to the port, but in the opposite direction, right along pastures for cows, straight to the nature reserve. Always stay on the left side of the path until you can climb up some big rocks and find your perfect spot for a picnic right at the ocean.
So we found our little spot here on the cliffs, and the first thing we're gonna do is swim. Do you see the algas? They are like a little bed below me.
What if you would stay a while? I could keep you safe and sound. Give me a minute of your time.
Yes, the locals got their dinner right out of the ocean. But we bought a Swedish speciality for our sunset picnic. Kalix loirom is the roe of the small Vendes fish species harvested in northern Sweden. Since 2010, it has the status of protected designation of origin and is the only Swedish product with the PDO status. Loirom has a more orange color than most Vendes roe, has a mild taste, is often served at royal dinners, and is common on the Nobel Prize banquets.
So first, a lot of creme fraiche.
Then loirom, small cut red onions, lemon.
You know, when Sweden is like this is fantastic.
People who live in Gothenburg call this area Sweden's Västkusten, meaning best coast, instead of Västkusten, meaning west coast. With crystal clear water, the rugged beauty of the granite shores and magical sunsets, we could very well understand why this is definitely a pretty good coast to live at. The next day we returned to Val da Sandö, but this time not for having a swim in the nature reserve. One of the best things to do close to Gothenburg is a boat trip to the car-free islands of the Gothenburg archipelago. The island Tystlana is a 40 minutes boat ride from the mainland, and we even spotted rare harbor porpoise.
Under my wings, I can feel the air pulling me up as I leave you there. You turn to the tune, I can hear them sing.
Now we are exploring the island. There is a lighthouse at this island, and I think 2-3 vacation summer houses of people, and a lot of people just go here by boat during the day, set their anchor and swim and enjoy the beautiful nature here.
From the 1870s, the captains of pilot boats who guarded big boats safely to the Gothenburg harbor started to live at the island Tystlana. But the island itself stayed a remote little paradise until today. The lighthouse of Tystlana was built in 1905 and manned until 1969. Then the island got electricity, which automated the lighthouse. Of course, a visit to an archipelago would not be perfect without jumping from the cliffs. And without having another picnic. It was time to say goodbye to the island Tistlana, to its lighthouse, to its beautiful granite beaches. Because we finally were able to exchange the boat life for our motorcycles that had new rare tires to bring us all the way back to Switzerland.
So we're just picking up the bike at the workshop, and Ducati is still a little mess. They fixed the horn, so they didn't like my duct tape solution too much. But unfortunately, the oil leaking could not be solved because that's a more serious issue and it would take some days, and we don't have those days. And the Navi is as well still not working because it's not just a fuse. It's something more serious, and so we will go back home and then hopefully find out what's wrong with this bike.
Kör snyggt.
That means?
Drive
Nice.
Yeah. Drive beautiful. Drive beautiful, yeah.
Oh, that's a nice word to say.
Before we were about to continue our journey, we had to visit another of Gothenburg's big attractions. No stay in Gothenburg is complete without having its most iconic food. And no, this is not to be found somewhere near a fancy restaurant.
This hot dog stand is called Lasse på Heden, and Lasse is the short form of Lars. And på Heden is this sports place that you can see behind me, and it's a former military exercise ground that now these days is used for playing football, basketball, and general exercising. And if you have enough of exercising, you can have this fantastic sausages here at Lasses. So this is a true Gothenburg experience, having a halv special, which is basically a sausage in a bread with mashed potatoes on top. Oh no, I got already mustard on my hand.
Thanks for joining our culinary island journey to Gothenburg. The next episode will take us to a very special graveyard, to Lake Vättern, and to a famous old castle. Give me a thumbs up and leave a comment if you like Swedish food, and tune in next Thursday to continue the journey and find out what we lost on this ride. And no, it was not my keys.